you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. I'm here, man. I got a female up here. I want y'all to see what it's like to do time in the female prison. So I got Keisha Key Baby caught a case in Arizona. I want y'all to check it out. And I'm definitely going to have to give her the 3 gunshots because she official. She going to give you what time it is. You know, if you already know the deal. If you're a rat bastard, just tune out. You know what I mean? This ain't for you right now. All right? Let's bring Keisha up here. Bam. You know, hey, tell them who you are and where you from and what you caught your case for exactly so they know. All right.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Keisha, aka Key Baby. I caught my case in, well, it ain't Tucson, Arizona. It was in Nogales, the border. I was coming across the border and I got charged with importation of methamphetamine and conspiracy to transport illegals for profit. And where I'm from, I can say I'm from everywhere, but Arizona and Texas is my home. So that's what it is.
All right. All right. So now you had an importation of methamphetamines coming across the border.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What made you decide to go across the border, or who? Not
I
no
mean,
name, but how did that come about to go cop, across the border?
because it was cheaper to go
Okay.
straight to the
Okay. Let me
source.
say this.
And
Let me say this. When people are hustling, because I was on the street and I started from the bottom all the way up. When people are hustling, we know it's cheaper in certain places, but certain places we don't even think to go. Like we knew it was cheaper in
yeah.
Colombia, but not too many people went to Colombia. That's why
Mhm.
Frank Lucas' story was so big because he went all the way to wherever and got it.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm asking you. Okay, it was cheaper, so you went with a dude, you went with somebody. Whose idea was it to go over there?
Well, I mean, just the neighborhood that I'm from and everything. Like, I don't know if people really know about Arizona. It's like we're right there by the border, and it's predominantly, Mexicans and everything like that. So, just being here, growing up, knowing people, know somebody that knows somebody, and all that stuff like that. And I got hooked up over the border with some people, and then it went from there.
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense. So you live by a bordering town to the border.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes.
Oh man, no
Yes.
wonder I would have been filthy rich. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah, you would have.
you
Until
know,
you get to
I mean,
dealing with
because
snitches.
yeah, that's equivalent to somebody from Philly coming to New York to cop, which was the regular. You know what I mean? So to go cop over there and then bring it over here, and you got all these other 52 states that the price is doubling and tripling and quadrupling as you go further away from the border. You know,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
yeah, that was genius. So when you got sentenced, how much time did you get sentenced to, and what did it feel like when you got sentenced? What was your feelings and emotions when that judge pronounced your sentence?
When he said I got 48 months and 5 years probation, and it was like, damn, but everybody else that was on the case, they all got probation and everything, and I'm the only one that got all this time. So I was like, I was mad. Shit. Come on. I was mad as hell. Like, are you kidding me? And stuff, you know what I'm saying? But you know what it is when more, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know
Mhm.
what it is.
Okay, so now you get chained up, shackled, and you get put on the prison bus. I assume 99% of the times you went through Oklahoma, right?
Yeah,
When you
I
left
went to
Arizona.
yeah, I went to
Hmm.
Oklahoma, but I wasn't on the bus. We flew out there from
Hmm.
Arizona and
Yeah, when they
everything.
pulled
So
up to the building, the prison that looked like a building, you don't even know it's a prison. I did a video on that
like
on the
it's like
channel.
a weird. It's yeah, it's like a weird. It's like I don't know. It's just
Describe how that
it's
looked to you,
what it
when
is.
you first saw that building. Tell them
It
how
looked
that
like a
building looked.
beehive.
Huh?
It looked like it looked like a beehive to me. Like you know how the beehive, how it's all circling, then it got the layers and everything like that. That's how OK City is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how exactly what I was like, damn, it look like a beehive up in
You
here. You know
know?
what I'm saying?
Okay, so let's talk about Arizona because I loved Arizona because we got a chance to see the beautiful women we went through Arizona. You know how we be trying to holler at you on the plane and we shackled and we trying to be cool and we trying to holler and y'all looking, y'all trying to holler, trying to get certain information. Don't tell me you wasn't one of those. Because to my knowledge, we
Yeah.
was trying to meet something. Some was
Yeah, of
scared to
course.
talk.
Shoot. When I was in
You know?
OK City, I was in there talking in the toilets and meeting
I'm
people and
telling
all
man,
that stuff like that.
that's where I'm going. See, I don't want to lead it. So I want you to tell them. Now tell them about what it's like when we in Oklahoma and we got to talk through the toilet to talk to the opposite sex because we tired of talking to the same sex.
Yeah, I mean, like that.
You
I met
tell them how
like
you
a
do
few
it. Tell them
people.
how you do it so they
Oh,
can
oh
hear
my
you. This
God.
is the beginning
So
now.
like you just, you sit on the toilet and you know what I'm saying? You sit on the toilet and you just keep going like this, like a plunger and stuff. And then you get a cup and then you get the rest of it out. You get your cleaning spray, you spray the rest of it out and everything. And you know what I'm saying? The paper, roll it up and everything like where you can talk in it, you can hear in it and stuff like that. Your head be all up in there and everything. And you don't be thinking about, all the rest of the stuff. You just like, shit, here I am. I'm talking to a dude, you know what I'm saying? And like, okay, So that's how we did it.
All right. So let
And
me break
anybody
that
that say they didn't talk in the
down.
toilet is a damn lie.
Tell them again. Let me break that down, right?
Anybody that say they didn't talk in the toilet is a damn lie.
Okay, now I'm gonna break that down, right? I'm gonna pop off and pop you back on and all that, but I'm gonna pop off, let you pop off, but check it. So now, what she just said is they got a toilet, right? That goes upstairs and downstairs. The women might be on the floor above us, 2 floors above us, or 3 floors above us. So what we do is we take all the water out the toilet. To get all the water out of the toilet, when it's that little bit at the bottom, you got to sit on it, like she said. That's how I was laughing and kind of like. You know what I mean? To pull the water out so that you can get the water up so you can scoop it out with the cup. Because once you get the water all the way out, now you can holler in the vent and talk to the females downstairs or upstairs. And that was the hotline. I mean, dudes be in the toilet till like 5, 6 in the morning. You know what I mean? Right or wrong, Keish?
Right. Be
Tell
up
them
all night, all morning, just talking and chatting it up and everything. Like there's, you know what I'm saying? I still have a friend that I met when I went to OK City and everything, and I still talk to him this day and everything. But he's, you know what I'm saying? He's doing a long, long time. They got him when he was 18 and stuff. So, he's doing a long time, but I still conversate with him to this day that I met in the toilet. So,
You know what I mean? You hear what I just said? That's why I let them know, man. Where my Cash App at? Put my Cash App up on the screen, man. You know what I mean? Because this is crazy. I'm giving y'all jewels you can't get nowhere else. I just told you how we used to have dates through the toilet in the federal prison
yep,
in Oklahoma.
yep,
Dudes is there
yep.
from 10 o'clock at night, lock in until 6
Man,
o'clock in the morning when they open up and call breakfast. You know what I mean? Right or
you hear
wrong,
them
sis?
keys, you hear them keys, you jump up and everything, like, act like you're not doing nothing.
You know, because you don't want the police to know you hollering in the
Yep.
toilet. You know what I mean? That was the
You know how many
hotline.
times I got caught?
You know, so that's why let's talk to the young men and young ladies, Keisha, and let them know, man. Yo, if this is what you want to do to go on a date, to scoop water out of a toilet, you
Oh,
know what
oh,
I mean? To
you don't
talk
want
to
to do
women, to
that.
talk to the
You don't
opposite
want to do
sex.
that.
Keep doing
Yeah.
what you're doing, young men and young women, right or wrong, sis.
You show you right there.
Mhm.
Straight facts. But that's not
You know,
something y'all want to do. You know what
you
I'm
see.
saying?
You see, we give jewels over here at Unique Mecca Audio. You know, that's why I tell my people flash the Cash App so you already know the game is to be sold, not sold, not told. You know what I mean? You know what
Yeah.
it is. So, we
Yeah.
just keep it going, man, and we move. But now, when you leave Oklahoma and you go through, let's say, where did you go from Oklahoma? Greenville or the other
I
joint?
went, okay, the first time I went to Oklahoma, I went to Carsville. And then I had to sit there for a little while until they had an opening in Greenville. And then I went back through Oklahoma and then I went straight to Greenville. So
Mm,
that's what I
mm.
did.
Okay,
And
so
both
what was
times I
it
talked
like?
on the toilet.
All
So
right. So what was it like when you first, what was it like when you first walked into Greenville or to Carsdale, being that you went there first? Because I met a lot of girls
okay,
in Carsdale.
so I mean, like Carswell and everything. Like I never forget me and like some people, we came on the bus together. We was in Oklahoma City together, and we actually became, cool and all that stuff like that. But when we was walking and everything on the yard, and they was trying to yell and like, don't be scared, don't be scared. And I remember the Mexican, the essay girl, she was like, who's scared? Who's scared? And everything. And I was just, like, looked at them and stuff like, y'all man going with the bullshit. I'm not here for that. But anyways, but I mean, like, they try to test your waters and everything and stuff, but it is what it is. That's all I can say. It is what it is. But I mean, it's like, damn, I'm really here. I'm here. Like, the biggest regret, like, damn, I'm
Mm.
in prison and everything. I'm away from my son. I'm like, I got to do this time. I'm way out here and everything, even though, I got family all over Texas, have family in Fort Worth, not even probably like 10 minutes away from the prison and stuff like that and everything. But I'm still like, I was just like, damn, my son. That's all I was thinking about. It's like my son.
Yeah, man, because I try and explain to him, man, so I'm gonna give you a visual. Because how many months you did? How much time you did?
So I have 48 months and hell, shit, I don't know. What was the time thing? And then you get out on that, all that other stuff and everything
The
like
halfway
that.
house and all
So
that crap?
yeah, I only went to because COVID hit when I got to the halfway house. So I was at the halfway house for probably like 2 weeks, and then I was able to go to my granny house and everything on the ankle monitor, and I was on the ankle monitor for like 5 months. Couldn't do
Mm,
nothing, not a
mm.
damn thing. Like,
All right,
but
let,
it
let
was
me
better
give
than
you.
being in jail than prison, though.
All right, check. You did 48 months, right? I did
Not the whole
300.
48,
I did 300 in like 24 months.
and you did a lot of time.
324 months in federal prison. So I'm going to paint the picture so you understand what my life is. I'm on YouTube, so that makes me a prime target for the dudes that can't get no views to try and eat my back out. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to let you and those same dudes that's trying to eat my back out know why I'm so official and why I'm so cocky with it. Now, check. When I went in prison, right? I was 29 years old. My daughter was 18 months old in 1993. I came home in 2020. I was now 56 years old, from 29 years to 56-year-old man walking out of federal prison. And my 18-month-old daughter is now 27 going on 28. I left an 18-month daughter to come home to a 28-year-old woman. You know what I mean? Picture that, Try and wrap your mind around living with that every night. You know what I mean? That's what I went through. So that's why I'm telling the youth it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm fly, I'm all that. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. I've been running the streets in New York since the 70s, up and down the East Coast, did what I had to do, been all out the country, the DR and all that, you know? So, I've been places and I've done things and I know people and I know who I am and I know my worth. You know what I mean? So that's why they say I'm cocky or whatever they want to say. But I tell them gunshots to you rat bastards. You know what I mean? Got to give them the gunshots. So, that's where I'm at, but that's my life, man. What did you think when I was just expressing that to you? Let me get off the
Okay,
spirit and you tell me what went through your mind when I expressed that. All right?
okay. First of all, I tip my hat to you, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of time, and then being away from your child, and you didn't even have a chance to really get to know your child. Your child was only 18 months and everything. And I tip my hat to you for that. You know what I'm saying? You stand strong, you stood, you did your stuff. And but me personally, my son was, even though he was 15 when I went in, but it was always just me and my son. You know what I'm saying? My mama had died, my brother had died, so we really didn't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had family, but my family wasn't there. They was against me or whatever and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But, when I went, I was like, I missed out on my son's prom, junior prom, senior prom, graduate. No, I was out. I had to watch my son walk across the stage on video and everything like that. So, being a mother, a single mother raising your child and everything, not just him, I raised my niece too, my little brother's daughter too, you know what I'm saying? And everything is like, I had a chance to for them to, you know what I'm saying, grow up and be with me and everything. And they didn't know nobody but me. And then when you hear your child, you know what I'm saying, saying that me and Tiara, which is my niece and everything, felt like you gave up on us, you abandoned us when you went to prison, and then, hearing the hard times they had to endure while I was in prison and everything, that takes a toll too. But you didn't even get a chance to see your child grow. You didn't even get a chance to see your child, what I'm saying, do anything, her first anything or nothing, when she started walking, potty training and stuff like that, and it's, that that's sad. It's like I really tip my hat to you for that.
But I'm not the only one that went through that. A lot of my comrades went through that,
Hmm.
and that's the point that I'm making. A lot of my comrades from all over the United States that was a part of the war on drugs, that's what we went through. And, had to
Hmm.
come home and watching daughters want to fight daughters for, what I mean? Whatever, daddy's
Yeah.
attention, daddy gave more attention to this baby mother and not that baby mother, and not this
Yes.
daughter, not that daughter, the daughter feel away. I mean, we got to deal with all of these different type of mood swings, man. But,
Yeah.
life is hard,
It
and it's the
is.
choices that we choose to make. That's why I'm trying to
Yeah.
help them choose the right way to go where they're supposed to go. That's why when I say, I'm hard on the rap bastards, you know what I mean, and flip flop public trolls, it's because, you know, don't even enter the street so you don't have to stay true to the code. If you gotta disagree with something that I'm saying, as simple as under no circumstances you tell. No circumstances don't mean, but he did this, but she did that, but my mama got caught, my this one, that, I got that one out. No circumstances. Oh, they kidnapped my mother. I had to go to the police. They shot my brother in the head. I had to go to the police. No excuses. Once you enter that street, everything go. You who you are, you do you, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? And a lot of these young ladies, they get caught up with us because we moving like that. They not really moving like that, but they trying to keep up with us. And before you know, when we hit that bump in the road, they hit it with us. You understand what I'm saying? And we
Yeah.
bring them in with us, right or wrong. Talk about that, sis. How many of them
You're
different
right.
type of females you saw in there that was in there for another man? You know what I mean? For a man, not for nothing they did, but something they did for a man. You know what I
A
mean? So
lot.
the young ladies, talk to them and let them know a couple of scenarios. I know you know a couple of females in there, and you think back and say, "Man, that was one dumbass biatch." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Give us one real quick. I
Hmm.
want to pop off and let you tell us one. All right, you got one in mind?
Okay. Yeah, I got one.
All right, let me hear
I
one.
got
Oh,
one.
hey, this what we gonna call, but I love him, biatch. This the girl telling her girlfriend she did this to commit a crime to do all this time in prison because I love him, biatch.
But he
You know what I mean? 'Cause
loved me. He
you
loved me. Nah, bitch, he don't love you. Where he at now? Where is he
know,
at? You up in here doing your shit, you doing the time for this nigga and everything, and that nigga out there with the next bitch about to get her caught up. And then she gonna
uh,
come in and then he gonna move on to the next bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like
give us the story.
you know what
Come
I'm
on, let's
saying? Like,
get a story, and
doesn't
then we
want
get to
shit and
all that.
everything. She went down. She got 12 years for her dude, but she like you said, she loved him and all that stuff like that, and all that stuff like that, and you know what I'm saying? And she getting mad at everybody because he ain't wrote or he ain't came to visit her or he ain't sent no money and all this stuff like that and everything. You know what I'm saying? Nah, stupid. Cause he with the next bitch. Shit, doing what you used to do. And now her dumb ass about to get caught up. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. If you're gonna get a case, you know what I'm saying, get a case on your own, not for no dude. Cause you know what I'm saying, they don't love nobody. I mean, it's a different day and age now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could have, like, back in the days, some of these guys would have, like, my woman ain't got nothing to do with it and everything, even though she was all up in the mix on there, you know what I'm saying? Hoo ha, whoop whoop, and all that stuff like that and stuff that held it down. But the new day and age, a nigga will tell him, like, no, or you know what I'm saying, manipulate you, you know what I'm saying, get up in your mind, especially if you weak minded or anything like that. They'd be like, baby, I need you to go do this. I need you to go, you know what I'm saying, go down for me, but I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna make sure you got money on your book. And these stupid, naive ass females, they believe that shit. And then when they get in prison, they left high and dry. Like for reals. You know what I'm saying? So, if they want to go do that stupid shit, don't go do it. But I advise you, don't do it because they're not going to be there for you. Because I done seen a whole bunch of women up there slinging snot behind their men. Like, oh, I thought he loved me. He was supposed to be there for me. No, he ain't there for you. He there for the next one. He laid up with the next one. So you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. If you want to be that dummy, be that dummy. But I advise you not to.
Mm. All right. You see how she broke it down? This the type of jewels we give you a Unique Mecca audio, man. You know what I mean? That's why the Cash App on the screen. It ain't hard. You know what I mean? It ain't hard. Now, tell them what it's like, right? You know, because like they had the reason why I know all this about the female jail is because they had a thing with the computer where somebody hooked up a server that could reroute from the federal prison into the joint. You know what I mean? They already caught it. So
Hmm.
you rat bastards that want to try and say, oh, he tell it. You know,
Well,
because that's,
be snitching.
you know what I mean? Now, they had a joint that the male could send an email to this server and it forwards it over to the females. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it just take as long as it take for the institution to get it there, and they get it there instant. So the girls respond back and forth. I sat at that computer many a days just texting back and forth with a female, and I'm enjoying the conversation, and it's a good escape from beyond the walls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to me,
Yeah.
that's something that they should definitely keep because I don't see it harming anybody. You know what I mean? But you know, I've sat there texting all day. I mean, I put my headphones on, play my little, you know, Keisha Cole, and I get there and I get to talking my trash, and she talk her trash back, and I talk my trash. And yo, that knocked out about a year of my bid. You know what I mean? I know everything that I did that helped me throughout that 26 years. Picture you doing 26 years. I just used that to get past 1 year. So every year I had to come up with a different gimmick to make it to the next year. That's
Yeah.
what my life was like for 26 years. You know? Now,
I I mean, yeah.
this, when you got there, right? When you got, let me do this real professional, like, and look like I'm something. Hold up. Now, when you got to, you know, the first woman's prison and you seen a female come in, you know, with the long, pretty hair, and then the next week you see she got a Caesar, you know, like a dude, she wearing her pants, you know, sagging and wearing the baggy shirt, and she trying to, you know, look like a dude where you don't even see her breast, and she got her hair cut all the way bald. Tell them what that means and what that represents so we know, because I had to learn this from that little computer thing that I'm telling you. All right. Break that down. What type of female that is, and what's her purpose of that? You know, what's her rewards and punishments?
Okay. So let me explain it to you. So basically, I ain't got none against the LGBTQ, LMNOP, whatever community at all. But you know what I'm saying? When they come up in there and they turn into, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when I grew up, they was called, you know, bulldaggers, and then they went to from bulldaggers to butchers, and then now they call studs and everything. So, you know, a lot of them females, they'll turn into a dude, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, either they don't got, a lot of them, they ain't got no money on their books, so they need a bitch to take care of them and everything like that. So they'll put their braids in and sag their clothes and everything, walk around like that and everything. You know what I'm saying? You know, they do that a lot too. You know, they about to, you know, they got other females fighting over them and all that stuff like that. Because I mean, like, you know, I don't hate, you know what I'm saying? I don't get like that, but you know what I'm saying? They real pretty females and stuff, and they, you know what I'm saying, go up in there, you know, looking good and everything, and then the other females, you know, and you know, all that stuff like that. So this is just like, but the thing that gets me is, and then when you get out and you see them on Facebook, they wearing heels. You know what I'm saying? Up in the picture with the dudes and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them, they gonna, you know what I'm saying, go out there, they gonna, you know, go into prison and they gonna perpetrate like they just, you know, that and everything like that and stuff. And then you got some that real true life, you know, bulldoggers. I mean, I don't know what I could say now because you can't say nothing nowadays without people getting offended. But you know, they go in there looking like a whole dude, and they was looking like dudes out on the streets and stuff. And those are the ones that the females really get to cutting up. So you were gonna get beat up and sliced and diced or whatever because you messing around with this girl, and that's supposed to be this girl, but she playing both of you. It's like, I mean, like I can't even like it's just wild. Like it's just I see some wild shit.
Okay. Let's have some fun. Okay. So now here goes a girl. She done came in. She got the long, pretty hair. She looking better than J Lo. You know what I mean? She got the dun and all that. Then you saying next week you see her, she shave her head off bald,
Man,
and she wearing her clothes sagging, and she's walking around like a
man,
dude with the swag. That's what you telling me.
man, yes. Yes,
And
pulling all them bitches. Well,
mm,
female, excuse me, pulling all them females and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? She got a female in this pod, she got a female in that pod, and she got a female in that pod. And then when they come together, they out there squabbing over her and all that stuff like that. And then when she get out, she forget about you. She wearing heels. She with her dude. She don't had a baby. She, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, bitch, I remember you was in prison. You was out like a straight dude. Now you wearing heels? Like, what part of the game is this? But that's how they do. A lot of them females do that just to survive. You know what I'm saying? Just to survive.
all right, I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give y'all one. I'm gonna give y'all one. Because I like to ride. I'm gonna give him a ride right now, Keisha. I'm gonna pull you off. I'm gonna give him a ride about one I dealt with in Aliceville. All right. Let me tap my girl here. So check. I'm on the little computer thing that I tell you about. I'm hitting this little female up and we going back and forth. And you know what I mean? She even, sends a picture to her people who send it to my people that text it to me. Oh, pretty girl with long, pretty black hair. She looking gorgeous. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God. You're like, what I wouldn't do for a woman like that. You know what I mean? So, I'm kicking it. I'm all happy. I'm doing me. We going back and forth. And then now she's telling me about her roommate. Her roommate described herself. She's Cuban, big, and thick. And, you know what I mean? And they both like, 25, 26. And, dude been in for a minute. He still think he 29 when he went in. So, that fascinated me. So I'm enjoying that for the moment. I'm writing them and we going back and forth. And then, the roommate, not the one I'm talking to, the roommate, she tells me, oh yeah, she did her thing yesterday. She came in and she made a dildo. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, she made a dildo. She tell me how they did their thing with the dildo and all that. So they did them. And then now I'm talking my little shorty and me and her cool, but she introduced me to her buddy. So now her buddy, she crosses her and tells me straight up that my shorty I'm talking to is a stud, got a bald head and everything, trying to use that to turn me off from her so that I kick it to her. You understand what I'm saying? Because she pretty and she's the femme and this one is, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean. So that's where we went with that. But it was like crazy because dealing with the two of them at the time and learning about the female prison was like amazing to me because it was totally different than the men's prison. You know what I mean? Now, tell them how the female prisons differ, Key, baby.
I mean, as
Do
far
they
as, you know what I'm saying,
do they
huh?
push that knife? Do they push that knife? Do they get aggressive? You know what I mean? Are they having sex? How does this?
Technically,
Yeah, tell me
so
about the
technically
knife.
when I was down, I've never see nobody get stabbed or anything, but I've seen bitches beating bitches with bitches. You know what I'm saying? I've seen all of that. So, but far as like the female prison and the men prison and all that stuff, it's a difference. It's a real big difference in everything because females always want to be females. Everything, you know what I'm saying? So, they gonna get down, they gonna fight or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Unlike the men, y'all like to stab and choke and everything. And that's just like, you know what I'm saying? Up in there, I don't heard of some females, and heard in the night, females getting raped and all that stuff like that and everything. But our stuff is never as deep as y'all's.
Hold on.
Like, that's the difference.
You say female getting raped. I know female getting raped. I
Hell
thought
yeah, they man. Hell
female
yeah.
rape story. How female get raped? Let me hear this. Let me hear.
Well, from my understanding, okay, so my understanding, I don't know what happened. Okay, so when I was in Carswell, like we didn't have no bars, and you know what I'm saying, it was open. All of it was open. We had the two stories and everything. It's always one guard in the you know what I'm saying, in the thing and stuff like that. So lights out, 2 o'clock in the morning and everything. You be hearing them whole scream like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait, no, do you hear the next day and everything? She don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't took her cornbread basically, you know what I'm saying? Like she done got violated and everything. I'm like, well, how in the hell is that possible? And from my understanding, they will hold your ass down. You know what I'm saying? Get their friends, hold you down, and then they will sit on your face. They will, you know what I'm saying, is grab them legs, open them legs up. They will get up in there and lick on your cooter and do all that nasty stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do.
They doing that in the women's joints?
Oh yeah.
I got to get one of those videos. I know the police got to have the crazy videos of that, man. Oh man, that's what they need to put on YouTube. You know what I mean? Females being, you know what I mean? But anyway, so that's where we at. But now, so you know, you walking through the unit. Where did you work in the prison?
When I was at Carswell, I was the guards, I cooked for them and everything. So I worked in their part and everything. So, I had to connect on all the good shit. But the guards always got the good shit, the good seasoning and all that stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? And then when I went to Illinois and everything, I worked in the rec area and stuff. So, putting on the movies and stuff, or helping with the games or whatever and stuff, the rec stuff and stuff like that. That's what I did.
Okay, so when you was working in the rec, what are some of the things you seen with these females out there? You know, that
Oh
one's in
my
different
god.
unit, they can't get together because they in different units, and the only time they get to do that is in that rec yard. Tell them about that. Give us a couple of those.
Okay. Okay, so I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get my hustle on, you know what I'm saying, where I can, especially when you ain't got nobody but your son looking out for you and you know what I'm saying, helping you out. Everybody else done, you know what I'm saying, basically said F me and all that stuff like that. So I had to get my money the way I need to. So I had, the video screening room where, they come and put the movies on and stuff like that. They used to pay me to go in there, you know what I'm saying, do what they do. Y'all handle y'all business. I'll put the headphones on and be up in the TV like this. They be behind me doing whatever the fuck they want to do. I don't care. Handle your business, but pay me. When commissary day come, make sure you have my stuff. And this is going to continue. So, and that was in, you know what I'm saying, in Illinois.
Mm. Yo, it's funny because, like I said, yo, I'm gonna keep it 100. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a perv, whatever you want to call me. You know what I mean? Deviant, whatever you want to call me. But I used to write to females, and when I hit them up on that little joint, I tell them straight up, yo, I'm looking for a female that got a female. You know what I mean? That's willing to share the female. Where
Hmm.
everybody else was putting ads up there like, oh, I'm 5'6", I got brown eyes, you know what I mean? I'm 170 pounds. I told them straight up, I
And
want
they
to
were
see
looking like straight.
that. They let them know where I'm at. You know what I mean?
They
So
didn't
now,
say how they ain't had no teeth and.
but I'm telling them what I want. So I had a few that I used to write that used to send me crazy sex letters. You know what I mean? And about their escapades that night, where I had them giving me details on, what went on that night from, the police closed the door at 10 o'clock and you got to wait till he walked
Hmm.
through by 10:20 to do the count. And when do y'all get busy? And you know what I mean? And they went in, and them girls is something else behind them closed doors, man.
Behind them curtains. Ain't even not even behind closed doors, because when I was over there at in uh in Illinois and everything, you know what I'm saying, we had the open areas and all that stuff like that. So it's like they be up in there and everything, just be, you know what I'm saying, doing what they do and stuff. You hearing and stuff, or they be in the shower because the shower is right there. You be hearing like this one time there was the girls in there was for in there for like a couple of hours and just moaning and groaning and stuff. And there was one chick, she came, she was like, I said, no, if you ain't got your nut already, then she ain't that damn good. Like, you know what I'm saying? In the middle of the night, you be hearing that stuff. Like, maybe they be getting busy and then they be like all just piled up in the showers and stuff and everything in the bathroom. And you can't even get to, you know what I'm saying, the stall because they up in there, getting it on, doing, you know what I'm saying, whatever y'all do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so they
And
they be,
you know what's
females
crazy?
is nasty and freaky. So
Listen, you know what's crazy? Everything you just said, you would never in a million years that I know of, you know what I mean, while I was there, see men carrying on like that. Can't no man get with no man in front of no other man, because that's like automatic stabbing. You know what I mean? If you see a man's
yeah,
genitals, you got to stab him. You know what I mean? If you see a man, even you can't even think of seeing no shit like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah,
those are the ultimate disrespect in the federal males prisons.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You ain't gonna see nobody going in the bathroom with nobody and going in the shower stall. Cause I used to get good letters from the girls about them going in the shower stalls and all that with their buddy.
yes,
you
Yep.
know, and all under the pavilion. And, I mean, like, I'm like, the
Yep.
pavilion. I said, man, if two dudes even sat too close to each other under the pavilion, they was going to get stabbed up in the federal pens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on, man. Even the
Yeah.
dudes that was on that, they were walking with their little boy, girl, whatever. You know what I mean? They keep a little distance in between them. They ain't gonna do the little romancy thing where people got to see that. You know what I mean? That's how tight
Yeah.
it is. That they know better. I mean, we know what they doing, but they ain't gonna show us what they doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that little affection and
Yeah.
all that be going on. We don't be doing all that. But
They doing the female prison.
you know, yeah.
Just
But I just
disrespectful.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just wanted to tap in, man. We're gonna finish this up. We're gonna do a part 2 and a part 3. We're gonna do some more. I just wanted to give you an idea where we was at. So if there's anything you
Hmm.
want to say, go ahead and say it to the people. Now I'm gonna pop off and give you the screen so they can see you.
Okay, I want to put this out to my young women, whether you're black, white, Mexican, native, whatever, Chinese, whatever, I don't see them all. Like that lifestyle, going to prison and everything, that's not, it's not, it's the best thing is, you know what I'm saying? Stay away from it. Stay away from it. Me personally and everything, growing up in a military family, you know what I'm saying? Even though my mom's side of the family is all about that life, but that's not a life you want to live because you're missing out a whole part of your life, and it's not the biz. I mean, some of y'all will go in there, y'all be able to take it, and then some of y'all will not be able to go in there and take it, and everything like that. You don't have people, don't females that couldn't take it, get on suicide watch and everything. You know what I'm saying? Just be about be about something, be something, because prison is not the way to go. It's not. Even though I went to prison, I don't, I regret it, but I don't regret it because, going to prison changed my life. But that's not for everybody else because prison probably won't change your life for the better. It probably changed your life for the worse. But me, it changed my life for the better. It woke me up and made me see and realize a lot of things. But that's not the life you want to live. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, whether you black, white, Mexican, whatever, you're a queen. You are a queen. So you need to be that queen. But being in prison, you're not going to be that queen. Then once you get out, it's going to be a hard knock life, baby girls. And that's all I got to say.
Mm.
You don't want to do it.
All right. See, that was very well said. Very well said. See, that's what we give you here at the Mecca. We give you jewels, man. Nothing but jewels to prevent you from making the same mistakes that we made because we don't get down like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, when I speak on like the code, I let them know the code of the street, how raw it is. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Just plain
Oh,
no telling. If that means you serve life in prison, that means you serve life in prison.
yes.
Period.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Go ahead. What
Yes.
you want to say, sis?
Yes. Let me just say this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about everybody else, but I know me and my family, you know what I'm saying? On my mom's side of the family and everything, snitching been instilled in us since we was kids. You don't go run, you don't snitch, you don't do none of that stuff. You go tell on somebody, you getting whooped just and then the person getting whooped too that you told on. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, you need to take that and you know what I'm saying, as a kid, but nowadays they don't do that, you know what I'm saying? They always snitching. It's like snitching is a new trend or something now, you know what I'm saying? But you don't say nothing. You knew what it was about. When you got into that life and everything, you knew what you was doing when you was doing it. So when you get caught up and they get to hitting you with them football digits and all that stuff like that and everything, that you want to be like, oh yes, it was the 5th day of January and it was cold that day when he did that. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't do that. You stand your ground. If you can't stand your ground, don't be in that life. Y'all might say, yeah, I could do it. I'm not no snitch on, but as soon as they get you and you get all them police and everything in front of you, talk about they gonna take your kids, talk about they gonna do this, they gonna do like they told me every kind of thing, but I stood my ground on mine. I stood on mine. But if you can't do it, don't be about that life. Stay out that life. Like for real. Because it ain't for you. It's not.
All right. See, that's what I'm saying. We just get right to the point, man. There's no in between. There's no but this, but that. I mean, come on with that crap, man. Stop it.
Yeah,
That's why I say
for
identify
real.
yourself. I identify myself who I am. I'm just asking you to do the same. You know what I mean? That way I
Yeah,
have a choice if I want to deal with your rat bastard ass or not, which of course it'll be
man,
not. But at least we know that we
man.
can't be nothing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You
Mm-hmm.
know? So,
Exactly.
that's where we at, man. So we're about to tap out. Yo, it was a pleasure. We'll probably finish up tomorrow night because it's late as hell right now, and I want to give them something today. So I'm gonna just drop this
Yes.
bop and do what I do, All right.
Yeah, I feel you. I got you. I got you.
We can do it now and do it for other shows. Tell them how we met.
On that dang on computer thing that you was talking about. And then the thing about it is, like, we became like cool. Like, it wasn't even like no relationship thing or anything like that. It was like you became like my brother and everything and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We always wrote letters, and then you had me hooking you up with. I want you, like you said, you want a female that got a female. I said, okay, I got you, and I got you females that have females and stuff. And from there, whatever y'all did, that's what y'all did. But me and you, we clicked on like a brother and sister basis, you know what I'm saying, instead of like, trying to, hook up or whatever. So our shit was always talking about you spitting knowledge to me, and they're like, you always have the game banger, the game. No, I'm not no game, but well, you know what I mean, whatever you want to call me, but you know what I'm saying. But you always spit knowledge to me when I was going through it. I'll tell you what's going on. You helped me through it and all that stuff, and I respected you for that. You know what I'm saying? I still respect it, still got love for you for that. And I'm still glad that we're still friends and continue, you know what I'm saying, our relationship on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, me and her met in prison while she doing time. We was emailing each other through that server that I told you was rerouting it over there. Yeah. And, I ain't selling no dreams. I told her straight up, I just want a female that got a female. That's it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I didn't have that.
Because she said she ain't had that. I said, no problem, baby. You know what I mean? On to the next one. You know what it is. I'm gonna find something else so you can help me find a female that got a female, and I'll find you a lame that want to play your game. You know what I mean?
But you never found me no lame, and you never hooked me up with nobody. So shut up.
Ain't none of my niggas lames, you know what I mean? And,
hey, I wasn't asking for no lame. I don't want no lame. Shit, I need somebody to go be 110, 110.
Yeah, I give one of my homies and they bust a little muscle, and now you mad at me. You know what I mean? Because we could be ruthless when it come with a female now. You know what I mean?
Like I could be ruthless when it come to men. Don't get it twisted. My name ain't Key Baby for nothing.
You see all that trash she talking? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hook up with somebody up here in New York, and when they bust her little heart muscle, y'all know that I told y'all that I told her that I'm telling her now. I told you so. All right.
Okay. All right. I ain't even gonna comment on that.
You know what I mean? All right, because ain't nothing like talking to a dude on the street. Yo, Unique Mecca Audio, man, I'm tapping out. It was a pleasure. You know what I mean? And like, subscribe, share, and all that other crap. All right?
For sure.
Cheers. Toast the crime. Toast the crime. The crime. The crime. The crime. Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. Yui back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in Uptown. Baby horn Uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive. Yui got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in Uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the root men.